All
Hey
right.
everyone, and welcome to the Soul Star Cafe. My name is Ruth Perkinson, and I'm really glad all of you are here with us today. I have Dr. Nathaniel Mason, an amazing counselor, with us today to talk about some wisdom he's going to bring through for all of us. So, welcome back to the Soul Star Cafe, Nathaniel.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I love these videos. I think they're so helpful and it's just great to be in your energy.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And we were talking a little bit before we hit the record button about some of the things that we've been going through. So we could talk about that, or if you've got some extra wisdom to bring through for people today that has been on your mind to be helpful. So, how do you want to start this today?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I would love to talk about energy clearing, like clearing any kind of energy with fogginess or tiredness, since we were talking a lot about how many people we know, including ourselves, were kind of feeling that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a deep dive into that for about a few, 2 or 3 minutes. This will be a very short video about energy hygiene and just staying clear and being clear, and just some practical things we can do in this time. We're right around Christmas 2024. And so lots of things are happening in the world right now. And so, what are a couple of things that you would advise people with your expertise to do around energy hygiene and staying clear? What's some of your own wisdom?
Sure. I think the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about it is speaking truth to it and not denying that if it's there. When you say to someone, when you say to yourself, like, when you calibrate with somebody you really trust and say, man, I'm feeling like really fuzzy, like, or out of it, or tired, or brain foggy, or whatever it is, if you use it as an opportunity to connect and to acknowledge what you're feeling, it allows you to be able to start to move through it and not deny it. Because I think when we deny things, it makes it worse. We don't ever
Yeah,
want it.
yeah, absolutely. It does make it worse when you deny something that's going on. So just be very aware of how you're feeling in your system, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so that first step would be don't deny it. Just know that you're feeling off, you feel foggy, you feel sleepy. Don't deny it. So that's number one. What would be a second thing you would do or advise us to do?
I think the second thing would be, in addition to after not denying it, what is a thing that you can do during your day to slow your brain or your body down to not feel like you have to operate at your normal pace of productiveness or busyness? So sometimes that might mean someone takes more breaks than usual. Other times it might mean that you do a lot of mindfulness or slowing down with whatever task you're doing right in front of you. Just paying attention to, like, it could be something as simple as when you wash your hands or when you scrub a dish, really paying attention to the temperature of the water. Like, how good does the bristle of the thing feel against your hands? When you're scrubbing, really paying attention to just every moment that you're moving the brush, that the little food particles come off of the plate. It's so many little things that you can do that actually aren't super expensive or, that aren't a lot of energy that can help get your brain back in gear to where it needs to be, which is focusing on one thing at a time.
Right. Oh, that's so helpful. So just being very mindful,
Yeah.
one thing at a time, one activity at a time, and really slowing your mind down as best you can. And that's really important, is to slow our minds down so that popcorn thinking doesn't continue to throw us off.
Totally. Yes. Because what happens with brain fuzziness and brain fogginess, I'm actually really glad you said the phrase popcorn thinking. It gets us into different rabbit holes that aren't always helpful. Like we might ruminate on things with the past, we might overthink things in the present, worry about things in the future in a way that we maybe wouldn't be as susceptible to if we weren't feeling as foggy or heavy.
Oh, that's so helpful. Thank you. Yeah, we don't want to continue to ruminate on things that happened, 5, 10, 15 years ago, because that does contaminate our present moment and would exacerbate that whatever feeling we're having. It just continues to kind of piles on top of what we're already feeling. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So cool. So and I love that idea of just being present with the water, just washing a dish, a very simple thing to do. What would be another thing that you would suggest for people to do, feeling foggy, feeling a little bit off, as we close out the video?
Sure. So my clients know this, and I tell my students this too a lot, and I have to practice this all the time, which is pay attention to your base needs. It's amazing how long we'll go without a sip of water or some kind of snack or resting our eyes even for 20 minutes, like a quick power nap. It's amazing how much that can add up and contribute to and make any of the heaviness or brain fogginess worse. And so picking a few things about your base needs that you can focus on and be mindful of, even if it doesn't immediately solve it, it feels good to be nourishing yourself and to bring that energy towards your body and your mind.
Oh, that's really helpful. Just your basic needs,
Yes.
just taking a sip of water, doing just little things to keep your body, balanced and in shape. I know one thing that I noticed the other day with my dad, I had to bring him some Pedialyte because I think he was super dehydrated. So just making sure your electrolytes are very important, you know,
Yes.
keep that salt and the sugar balanced in your system, whether it be honey or whatever it might be. Yeah.
That's a perfect example. And actually, I'd love to do a little self-disclosure for a few seconds. But years and years ago, when I was feeling really overwhelmed with something, I was actually with you and you said, have a spoonful of honey and some almonds. And it's actually amazing how much my system started to feel better after that.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. That is helpful. And yeah, a little snack. Sometimes to
Yes.
keep that blood sugar up, especially at certain times of the day. It might take a little bit of a dip.
Yes. If you're
Yeah.
feeling like, when the evening comes around, sometimes in the afternoon, like the early to mid-afternoon time frame, our circadian rhythm dips, it naturally wants us to slow down. So really be mindful around that time that you're going to need something to kind of boost your energy up if you can't afford to slow down and take a bit of a break.
Right. Excellent, excellent. All right, so we're not going to deny it, right? We're not going to
Yes.
deny that something's foggy or off-putting or whatever it might be in your system. That's the first thing. Second thing is slow down, right? Just
Slow down.
slow everything down. Take the nap if you need to take the nap. Just be very sort of aware that you're just trying to slow your system down and your thoughts down. That's just helpful. Even maybe a little meditation. And then the last thing today is to take care of those base needs. The water, a little bit of honey, maybe things like that. All right. Well, this is so helpful. And
Sure.
to just kind of come in today to bring forth this information about just sort of our own energy hygiene,
Yes.
keeping our system clear. So as we close out, is there any other, words of wisdom that you have for, parents out there or teenagers or anybody that you've worked with? Maybe a theme you've seen across some of the things you've been working with in the last month or two that you might bring forth.
Yeah, and I can't remember where I first heard this, but I knew it was earlier in my study of Course in Miracles that it was either somebody or something I read. But one thing I tell my clients a lot, again, I have to practice this myself, is asking yourself at any minute you're feeling overwhelmed, what's the next right thing I can do? What's the next kind thing I can do for myself? Any question that resonates with you like that, what is the next thing that I can do that's gentle, that'll get me to the next moment that I need to be in?
Absolutely. The next right thing, the next right thought that's going to be super kind for me and the beings around me. And sometimes just going up to an animal and petting it, right?
Yes.
Just going to go up to this animal and pet it and join with it and be sweet. Oh my gosh, this is so helpful. All right, beautiful tips coming from Dr. Nathaniel Mason, an excellent counselor and amazing teacher for me on this journey back to source. Thank you for being on the Soul Star Cafe, this sort of brand new cafe we got going. We'll have a gift shop at some point, I think, with coffee mugs and T-shirts. Right, that would be kind of fun.
Everyone loves a coffee mug and a t-shirt. Yeah, you never see people turn it down.
You never see him turn down a nice cup of coffee or a nice cup of tea. All right, Nathaniel. Well, happy holidays to you, and thank you for being a part of this Soul Star Cafe. And we will see you next month to come
Yes.
back and join us for another, just a brief, like 3 to 5 minute video on some great things you can do for yourself and others in your relationships too. We want to talk more about that as well. All right. I love you guys. I love you, Nathaniel, and
Love
I'll
you
see you
too.
soon.